What's up YouTube, BizMatthew here, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you all step by step in detail how to close your very first wholesale deal. We are going to go deep into the details step by step on acquiring your first contract, on finding title companies, on skip tracing, and different tools that you can use in order to get your first wholesale deal. And while we're on these different steps, I'm going to actually drill into my computer. For example, skip tracing, and I'm actually going to show you the software that I used in order to find motivated sellers' phone numbers. I'm going to show you all how to import the list, export the list, and then just start calling it in the software I would use if I want to use a dialer. So this video is very detail oriented, and I know you all will find value from this video, so be sure to take notes and write the different steps and then go out and actually take action, right? Don't only consume my content, actually use the different steps and go out there and do them. And I guarantee you, you will find success. All right, let's start with step number one. So step number one is drive for dollars. Driving for dollars is essentially going around your neighborhood, looking at distressed properties. It may be a house that looks like it's a fixer-upper that needs a little bit of love, or it may be a house that seems like a lot of people haven't been there. You know, like the house doesn't look terribly bad, but maybe there's a lot of mail in their mailbox, or their gutters haven't been cleaned in a while. These are different signs of distress that you can target while you're driving around in your neighborhood looking for distressed properties. What I do when I drive for dollars, you can do one or two ways, and I'm always going to give you all cost-efficient ways, and then if you want to invest a little bit of money into getting your first deal, you can do that option also. So the first free option is using Google Maps. Now I have a video, I'll put it here somewhere, on me using Google Maps in order to drive for dollars. All right, you all, so let's say you have Google Maps open, you're driving around looking for these distressed properties. And by the way, I have my glasses on because you know it's official. So let's say you're driving around looking at the neighborhood and you want to tap on a property that you're right by. What you would do on Google Maps, you would just kind of hold it and click it, and a address will pop up. And then from there, there's this option down here that says save. And then you have to already create a list in Google Maps in order to put it in like a driving for dollars. So for example, I have D4D. Back in the day when I used to use Google Maps, I actually use another software, Deal Machine, which is just so much easier. It follows you when you're driving. Google Maps doesn't really do that. If you're looking for a cost-efficient way, Google Maps is the best way to do it. So you just click on one of these lists and it will save it for you, and just like that. And you can go back later and look at the different lists of properties you have. So that's one option on how to drive for dollars using Google Maps. All right, so let's say you want to invest a little bit of money. I'm using Deal Machine. If you're interested, check the link down below. With my link, you may get a discount, and it just helps support this channel. If you're gonna get it anyways, might as well support me and, you know, get the link. All right, but on this specific app, it actually follows you while you drive, because on Google Maps, you kind of have to move it to the area you're at, but this follows you where you're at. And then when you're just by a house, all you have to do is click on a property. So for example, if I want 7803 and I'm right by this house and I'm driving, all I have to do is click it. Information shows up. I could just click add lead right here and it adds the lead. Boom. And I can look up more information directly about this property on Deal Machine that I really like. So for example, the owner's name, the address, you could put the sales price, their percentage of equity, which is amazing, and their assessed value, right? So this is honestly a great lead. I mean, it's been owned for a long time. It has a lot of equity, and this would be a good property to target. But this is only if you're driving for dollars. So if the property looks super nice, I want to add this lead. I'm just doing this for demonstration. But if the property looks distressed, yeah, you can directly from Deal Machine start sending mail. You can cold call this list, skip trace this list, which means just find their number and go from there. All right, so now I'm on the desktop version of my Deal Machine account. So essentially Deal Machine, they have the app and you have a desktop version. So that's the great thing about Deal Machine. So From here, you have all the houses that you have put into Deal Machine. And so from here, what I would do is just click right here so I can select all. I can select all of my leads on my account and then click more, and I can export this list. So I'll click export, it'll give me a download, and then from there, I will import it into, like, for example, if you have Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets that I'm using, I import it into Google Sheets. And it's just easy, you know, you just go to File, you go to Import, and then you can actually on Google Sheet upload a file, and you just drag and drop, or you can select a file from your computer. And you just get a bunch of information about the property on your Google Sheets, but you want to edit it out because we want to skip trace these properties. So what I'm going to do, I just want to keep the addresses and the names. And so I will just cut it out and it will look something more like, for example, this. So I have the two names, I have their property address and the mailing address. And that's what I cut it down to. And then from there, I'll download it into a CSV file. And then from there, I will import it into batch skip tracing. If you're interested, go down below, check out batch skip tracing. 20 cents a lead. So if you want to get a lead, skip traces will be 20 cents. So you could do single skip trace and then bulk skip trace. And then from there, you can just drag and drop that CSV file from here. And it can get you the numbers within 24 hours. They're pretty fast and they're accurate. And then from there, let me go back. So you would get a list like this from batch skip tracing. It has all the different phone numbers. It has different phone numbers under a person's account or name. And then what I like to do, I like to especially target mobile phone numbers and like the first 3 of them. But on my first initial call, I'll just call their first number that they put down. And then from there, I'll call them. So now cold calling is the next step. That's step number 3. All right, you all. So after we drove for dollars, we downloaded a list, we skip traced them, we have phone numbers to call. So the next step, step number 3, is to cold call that list. Now, cold calling can be a little bit daunting for some. If you want to do texting or direct mail, you can always kind of shift that type of marketing technique. But I think cold calling for beginners is the best way. It just jumpstarts them really fast into being in sales, being in real estate. And by the way, if you all are enjoying this video, you see how I get into the nitty gritty of real estate investing, be sure to like this video. Just hit the like, and then subscribe. A lot of you all watch my videos but are not subscribed, so make sure you subscribe. All right, so you can cold call different ways. You can use your personal cell and your personal number to cold call that list. If you want to do that, go ahead. I don't recommend you doing that, but let's say you want to use a different phone number. You can use a software like CallRail in order to cold call that list. Another thing that you can do, you can get a dialer. For example, you could get batch dialer. So a dialer is something that you can import a bunch of phone numbers into, and you can just press start, and that software is just going to call every single phone number that you inputted without you manually dialing every single phone number. So it really saves on time, it really saves on distraction, because you're just on and the time is just passing by, and it just goes by with a breeze. So if you all are interested in batch dialer, you can check it down below. That's a dialer I use. You have another dialer that you prefer, you can go with that. So while you're cold calling, step number 4 would be to find cash buyers. So let's say you're talking to some sellers and you're getting to know the condition of their property, their price, their motivation behind selling. This should put in your mind, hey, okay, what type of investors are looking for these type of houses? And so while you're cold calling a list of about 1,000 or something, start finding cash buyers. So that's step number 4. There are 2 main ways I like to find cash buyers. Number 1 is a free way, of course, because I like to give you all free ways to invest in real estate and succeed in this business. So you can go on Facebook real estate groups, join their group, especially if it's about wholesaling or about fix and flip or anything like that. You can actually search within a group page cash buyers, right? And then you'll find every single post with those keywords. And from there, you can usually find posts from other wholesalers, like back in the days, just talking about or asking cash buyers to leave their name, their email, their contact information. And from there, you can just save all those emails and email them a deal later, or you can directly message them once you have a deal, or just ask them what they are looking for around the area, their main investing strategies. Hey, do you like to fix and flip? Do you like to just buy and hold properties? And different questions like that. So step number 5 is to set up an appointment with sellers. So once you already found some cash buyers who are interested in buying properties around where you drove for dollars, you can set up an appointment with sellers that you call. So let's say you call a list of 1,000 people and 10 of them are interested. Call all of those 10 and set up an appointment. Say, hey, I'm looking to buy this property, or hey, you know, this is a great prospect for me and my partner. We would love to see this property, or I would love to see this property in person. Tuesday at 11 a.m. work for you. So you give them a day, you give them an exact day, and you give them a time in order for them to show you the property, right? Be specific about it. If they're not comfortable or not ready yet to set up an appointment, kind of work on their timeline, but don't keep pushing it off, right? You know, you got to be firm with your dates and times. Step number 6 is put them under contract. So when you're on these appointments, it's always good to have an agreement in hand, like whether it's in your car or in a folder that you bring with you, whatever it is. You know, if you all are agreeing upon price, upon timeline to sell, say, hey, I have this agreement in my car. Do you want to talk it over and we can, you know, go from there and start the escrow process? And if they're ready to sign then go ahead and put them under contract. Another thing that you can do, you can use like DocuSign. Let's say you already left the property because they needed to discuss it with some people or just think about it and they want to sign. You don't have to go back to the property. If you want to, yeah, you can do it in person. But another thing that you can do, you can use a software like DocuSign where you can send documents over the internet that people can sign through email, right? And these are still legally binding contracts that title companies accept. So the 7th and final step is to find title companies, right? I have a ton of videos on all of these different steps, by the way, like finding cash buyers. If you type in Biz Matthew cash buyers, you'll probably find a bunch of videos of me talking about finding cash buyers or title companies, right? And I actually have a playlist of title companies that you could check out down below in the description. But essentially, the best way that I found how to find title companies is number 1, ask other wholesalers, right? In that Facebook real estate group that you join, talk to the wholesalers, talk to the flippers, and see which title company is investor friendly. The other way you can find title companies is just search title companies in Google, and then from there just call every single one of those title companies to see if they do assignments on contracts. If they do, cool, you can work with them. And then with title companies, you can send everything through email. So you can send the agreement between you and the cash buyer, between you and the seller, and then you can go from there and you can set up a closing date and time. Sometimes with title companies, you have to be the initiator because they're just swamped with things, and you have to be the one saying, hey, okay, how are things going? Do you have any questions? Can we close on this day at this time? Do you want me to contact the sellers and the buyers and different things like that? But what really separates a good title company from a great title company is them doing all that, right? So there are some title companies I worked with where they did everything. Like they communicated with the sellers, with the buyers, giving me a closing date and time. Once I sent in those documents and we agreed that we're going to do this, it was just done, right? So try to find those type of title companies. All right, you all, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I went into detail, step by step, how to close your first deal. Hope you all truly enjoyed it. Be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.